This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to my video breaking down everything the last time I mentioned that was announced at San Diego Comic-Con. Sorry this video came out a little later. I decided to wait to record until today just so I could see if there was any news that I missed that would have been revealed on Sunday. It doesn't look like that happened. And I'm still feeling kind of sick, so I'm not going to be doing breakdowns of the trailers. At least anytime soon. I may do it later in the week. I'm not really sure. But personally today, I just want to talk about this stuff and then get my review of Darth Plagueis done. And then I'm gonna go do a bunch more of Skywalker Saga, which seems like I'm almost guaranteed to have finished. So let's go straight into this. You might hear some clicking of the mouse, but that's because I'm just looking around at some different panels because I can't look at all the stuff about these panels. I'm just looking around a bunch of different tabs. And looking at the first thing, and probably the longest, is everything from Marvel Studios. First, going into the animated stuff, we got a trailer for I Am Groot. And even if I do trailer breakdowns, I'm not going to talk about this one. It looks like to be a nice series, mainly for, kids to enjoy. But I'll still check it out. I'll probably have to review the entire season when it drops. One of the more interesting ones is Spider-Man Freshman Year. And kind of unrelated to that, I'm going to be looking at the Spectacular Spider-Man, which was just dropped on Netflix, and it really wasn't available to stream anywhere. So I'll be doing a review of that. Probably after I finish some more of my Star Wars rewatch. I'll be doing Return of the Jedi sometime today. And then I'll move on to the post Return of the Jedi era, and I'll probably watch that before I go into the sequel trilogy. Yeah, continuing down, there's also What If Season 2 and Season 3 confirmed. Oh, I forgot to talk about Spider-Man Freshman Year. I'll talk about What If right now. Yeah, with that, there's going to be stuff based on this current season, I think. I don't remember exactly. There's supposed to be one where we get a Winter Soldier type story with them fighting the Hydra Stomper, and with some other stuff. We get, I think there's one where Odin goes against the Mandarin or Wenwu, and a few other ones I don't remember the titles of. And there's also the Gamora and Tony Stark one from that's supposed to be in the last season. Going to what I wanted to talk about, and I was about to talk about, was Spider-Man Freshman Year. And this one's going to be really interesting, where it will have Daredevil in it, Doctor Strange, and more. It's not going to be set in the MCU, which is a really good thing in my opinion, because from what it looked like, there wasn't that much it could have done in the MCU, since the MCU has very set guidelines for Spider-Man, and with it seemed that the Vulture was his first villain, and with him going up against a bunch of other villains, including Green Goblin and Doc Ock, who it's clear he didn't face until the events of No Way Home, then I think that you can't go and say stuff like this and have it be in the MCU, since it will be contradicted. And I'm glad they made that change, since it'll be a lot more interesting. The final one that I'm really interested in, because I'm not a huge fan of the 90s X-Men. I have watched some of it. I think it's good, but it's personally not my favorite. But this one's probably one of the more interesting ones, is Marvel Zombies. And with it, I think it's supposed to be based in the same universe. Also be focusing on Phase 4 heroes, And with it, there's also going to be some other crazy stuff with this. Getting to see more zombies, and that is going to be TVMA. So that's going to be a lot more exciting to see. Moving on to the final one, as I mentioned before, is X-Men 97. There's 2 seasons of it, and with it, I'm not a huge fan of the X-Men show, as I said. I did like the episodes I've seen, but I wasn't rushing to watch any more. And with it, I really enjoyed the Spider-Man one more from that era. And so I think it was good. I'm definitely glad that the fans aren't getting it. Although I do hope we can at least get one more season of that Spider-Man one also, since it did have a bunch of loose ends left there. Moving on to the next one, we have the Marvel Studios panel, and with that there was so much stuff revealed. And with this has probably been the longest section of it where I'm talking. All the animation part did take up a good amount. There's so much more with phases 5 and 6 being revealed, and also the end of phase 4. One of the first things was there was a new trailer for She-Hulk, and personally, the only interesting thing in that is the confirmation Daredevil will be part of the series. It does look interesting, but besides that, I'm not too interested. And the thing I'm looking at is looks like talking about the TV shows first, and then going into the movies, or it's kind of mixed up. It just seems odd, but yeah, the next thing let's talk about is Secret Invasion, and that's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be out next spring. I'm guessing it'll be after Ant-Man and the Wasp, which will be in February, and even though spring is an estimated time, it's have to be in March at the earliest, so I'm wondering why they have it, with Secret Invasion above Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't know, it's odd, but there's also the fact that Wakanda Forever will be the final film in Phase 4, and that's interesting. And yeah, this doesn't look like it's in chronological order because Wakanda Forever's not even on the first part of this. But Wakanda Forever's trailer was interesting, and I may break that down if I do that video later this week. There is also Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which will be the final Guardians film. And James Gunn doesn't look like he has any more plans to make any more Guardians films, although they will still exist and not all be killed off. I believe the High Evolutionary is going to be the villain of the movie, and it's going to be focusing partially on Rocket's origins. Yeah, this all looks really interesting. And then I've already talked about Wakanda Forever, which is appears next. There's also Echo, which will be focusing on the character, and I think both Daredevil and Kingpin have been confirmed for the series, which is going to be really interesting. I'm guessing both Hawkeyes may show up also, although I'm not sure about that, but I think both Daredevil and Kingpin were confirmed. And I'll be going back to them in just a moment. Next is Loki Season 2, and that's going to be interesting to see, and I'm really excited to see that. Then there's Blade, and I didn't watch the original Blade films, but I will check this out. It looks like it will be interesting. And then there's Ironheart. Not really sure what to think of it. I'm gonna judge it after I see Wakanda Forever and see the character in that. So right now I don't have too much to say about that. Right now I'm thinking it may be like a Miss Marvel, but my opinion may be changed after we see her in Wakanda Forever. And then there is Agatha Coven of Chaos, which was changed from House of Harkness, which was I think revealed at D23 last year, or it may have been something else, but I know it was revealed like within the last maybe year and a half. Probably the most interesting one in terms of length and many others in content is Daredevil Born Again, which is rumored to have 18 episodes, and we'll see Daredevil and Kingpin be in it. And who knows, it may have appearances from other characters like Echo, which will be extremely awesome to see. And then, moving towards the end of Phase 5, there's Captain America New World Order, which will focus on Sam Wilson's Captain America, and New World Order was a Justice League title, so I'm not sure if it will be related to that. I knew the comic title was familiar, and I was thinking it was DC. I looked it up, and it was from, I think, the 90s run of Justice League, the one where Tower of Babel appears later on. Yeah, that's just interesting to note, although I'm not really sure what it's going to be based off of. And then to end up Phase 5, there's going to be the Thunderbolts. And that'll be interesting, and a different type of team-up movie. They'll be more similar to the Suicide Squad. Finally, moving into Phase 6, there's only 3 films that were announced, the first one being Fantastic Four. That begins that November, and with it, it's going to be pretty interesting to see that, and hopefully they don't mess it up like the previous 2 versions did. There's then the final 2 films, besides a potential, like, end-off movie that would be similar to Spider-Man Far From Home, which is Avengers the King Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. And I think basically everyone knew Avengers Secret Wars was coming, and I'll mention this quickly. I think that instead of having it as Avengers films, I think it should have been an X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Avengers films. We'll film each, and with it, that would be more interesting, so they can focus on different groups in each of them. But yeah, I think that it's still going to be interesting like this, and so it's interesting that they're going to be released at least currently 6 months apart. I feel like that's going to change, and it may be pushed back to a year because they're going to have to do a lot of work, and I'm not sure if they'll be able to finish it. But if they are able to keep to this schedule, I'll be really impressed. And we'll have 2 Avengers films within the course of a year, and that'll be really cool to see. Looking at DC, they didn't have much, only focusing on the immediate project and announcing some new animated films. In terms of animated films, they had Batman: The Doom That Comes to Gotham, Legion of Superheroes, and Justice League War World. And then from what it looks like, there's also another JSA movie coming out. I'm assuming it will be the one from JSA World War II, although it could be different. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. And then some other stuff for DC is there is the new SHAZAM movie and the Black Adam movie. Both had trailers dropping, and that was interesting. Now moving into just some generic other movie stuff and shows. There is the trailer for John Wick 4. Then give the full title. I'm not sure if it will have a full title or if it will just be John Wick 4. With that, that looks really good. Looking through some of the other trailers they have, there's the Lord of the Rings of Power one, and it looks interesting. I'm still going to give the show a chance, and as I talked about in my video last week, which was the what if the Fellowship took the Eagles, I'm tired of all that hate just being thrown towards it, and I'm going to give it a genuine chance for it. And with the other trailers, although there are other ones, I wasn't too interested in them. And one interesting thing I saw was an interview with the cast of Archer where they said the season should be dropping in August, and then Daniel Craig wants to guest star on it. I think that would be all really cool and interesting. But yeah, I want to know what you think of these reveals, and I want to let me know in the comments. And I'll see you on the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.